Saludos Trekkies, bienvenidos a un gameplay del nuevo videojuego de Star Trek hecho por la gente de Dramatic Labs, este juego interactivo en la que vamos a vivir no en primera persona, ¿vale?, sino asumiendo el rol de dos tripulantes de una nave estelar, Star Trek Resurgence. Dar las gracias al equipo de prensa de Dramatic Labs que nos ha hecho llegar un código para descargar la versión de prensa en edición de PC, ¿vale? Este es el juego que vamos a jugar en PC, pero el juego también está disponible desde hoy mismo, día 23, en PC, en Epic Games, en Xbox y en PlayStation 4 y 5. En realidad este vídeo lo estoy grabando el sábado 20 a las 8 de la tarde, concretamente sí, las 8 y poco, porque la letra pequeña para recibir el código de prensa era: no puedes colgar nada, no puedes mostrar nada, no puedes mostrar ninguna imagen, ningún vídeo, etcétera, del videojuego hasta el día de lanzamiento. Así que yo ya lo estoy jugando antes, me está encantando, ¿vale? Lo he probado muy por encima y me está gustando mucho y vengo a enseñároslo a vosotros y comentaros algunas cositas, algunos detalles que seguro que os llama la atención. Si ya te lo has comprado, pues este gameplay no te va a servir de nada, pero igualmente recomiendo que te lo mires para entender 3 o 4 cositas que se menciona en el videojuego, de dónde vienen y a dónde van. Y si todavía no te has decidido a comprarlo, espero que este gameplay, ¿vale?, te convenza de todas las dudas, te quite todas las dudas que tengas encima y te hagas con él, porque, insisto, yo creo que es de lo mejorcito de Star Trek que ha salido, aparte que no ha salido mucho, ¿vale?, pero de lo mejorcito que ha salido últimamente. No me enrollo más, ¿vale? Sabéis, tenéis más información del juego en un vídeo que colgamos en el canal de YouTube. Todo lo que necesitas saber de Star Trek Resurgence está en el canal de YouTube, y hace unos cuantos días colgamos en el blog de flotaestelar.com también más información sobre los protagonistas, sobre los personajes, sobre la nave, etcétera. No me enrollo más, lo siento. Opciones. En opciones vamos a tener la posibilidad de vincular nuestro videojuego con la web de Star Trek Resurgence para hacer una especie de seguir las decisiones, registrar las decisiones que tomamos, las consecuencias que hemos provocado con nuestras decisiones. No sé muy bien todavía cómo, porque no está funcionando antes del lanzamiento, pero lo descubriremos juntos. Y aquí en ajustes, que es la pregunta del millón, ¿el videojuego va a estar en español? Pues sí, pero no, porque en realidad las voces solo están en inglés, ¿vale? El audio de la narrativa está en inglés, doblado por por muy buenos actores estadounidenses, pero los subtítulos están disponibles en inglés, francés y español. Los fans de Alemania están que trinan porque Dramatic Labs no ha puesto los subtítulos en alemán en este videojuego. No quiero pensar lo que estarán sintiendo los Trekkies de Italia. Pero mira, egoístamente hablando, los españoles siempre somos los últimos para todo. Pues mira, bien, celebro enormemente de que Dramatic Labs haya pensado en el mercado español, el mercado hispano, desde primeras de turno. Así que, chapó y muchas gracias, ¿vale? Por lo tanto, el juego sí está disponible en español a nivel de subtítulos. Pues venga, vamos a empezar a jugar. Os voy contando cosillas. Fijaros que tenemos hasta 3 ranuras vacías para poder abrir hasta 3 juegos, hasta 3 historias distintas, y en uno ser pues más educados, en el otro ser más agresivos, en el otro ser más simpáticos, más pelotas, etcétera, ¿vale? Y tener pues tener abiertos 3 hilos, 3 historias, ¿vale? Con caracteres diferentes a nuestro personaje. Vamos a abrir la primera ranura, empezamos y os voy contando cositas. ¿Vale? Dramatic Labs está formado por veteranos que salen de Telltales Games, que es la empresa que hizo los videojuegos también interactivos de Batman, por ejemplo, ¿vale? Pero a diferencia del videojuego de Batman, que salió en varios capítulos o en varias partes, este videojuego de Star Trek Resurgence está completito desde el primer día, desde el inicio de la historia hasta el final.
Captain's log, stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos,
Uy, ese
in this
diseño está
case,
mal escrito.
change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
Este personaje es la comandante Jara Rydek, ha sido asignada como la nueva primera oficial de la nave Resolute. Vale, ya os iré contando. Venga, botón derecho del ratón. Hemos cogido el pad.
No problem.
Si no, nos hubiera dado en la cabeza, se hubiera caído al suelo, lo hubiera cogido él, no lo sabemos.
But these little shuttles are the worst.
Dice que se marea. Venga, 1, 2 o 3.
Here's a tip. Don't close your eyes. You'd think that would make it easier, but it only makes it worse. Look out the window, pick a star, and just focus on that.
I'll give it a try.
Y ahora fijaros la ventanita esta verde que ha aparecido, ¿vale? Porque todo lo que hacemos, todo lo que decimos, todas las decisiones que tomamos van a tener un impacto positivo, neutral o negativo con el personaje de turno con el que estamos interactuando.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
Y por lo tanto pensarán mejor o peor de nosotros, o serán, bueno,
It won't be easy for Jara
habrán
to step in
consecuencias.
at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Star Trek Resurgence. Hay gente que ya se ha quejado de que las imágenes no son para tirar cohetes. Bueno, primero que el videojuego está hecho con el motor Unreal, que es de Epic Games, por eso en versión PC solo va a estar en exclusiva. Mira, cambio de estación, quedaros con esto, va a estar en exclusiva solo en Epic Games, porque utilizan el motor Unreal que es suyo. Bueno, a ver, ¿que podría estar mejor las imágenes? Sí, pero aquí lo importante es la interacción, vivir la historia. Sentirse parte de estos decorados, ¿vale? Por lo tanto, bueno, yo no soy muy de videojuegos, lo reconozco, por lo tanto, tampoco sé si esto es bueno, malo. Obviamente no es un AAA, creo que se llama así, pero bueno, a mí no me desagrada. Lo que os decía del nombre, no recuerdo el nombre que salía, el nombre del capítulo. Esta es otra cosa que vamos a tener en este juego. Vamos a vivir pequeñas aventuras en formato episodio. Y con cada cambio de episodio, hasta donde yo he jugado, vamos a ir cambiando de personaje. Empezamos, insisto, con Jara Rydek, pero en el siguiente episodio vamos a jugar con otro personaje que ya veréis quién es. Bueno, es una forma de organizar la historia, me parece muy interesante. Con el ratón movemos la cámara, con las típicas teclas W, A, S, D nos movemos, y fijaros que este cursor aparece en los sitios donde se puede haber una interacción, pues simplemente es cuestión de acercarnos, enfocarnos y clicar el botón del ratón.
Starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
Tengo que probar jugar con mando, porque estoy jugando con teclado y ratón. A ver si hay alguna diferencia, que creo que sí, ya os lo comentaré también en su turno. Y fijaros cómo las cinemáticas empiezan y acaban de una forma muy suave, Justo hemos atravesado el umbral de la sala de recepción y el videojuego se ha puesto en marcha automático para continuar la cinemática de la historia. Con el mismo motor, con la misma estética. Es algo que me gusta, no saber cuándo estás jugando y cuándo estás viendo algo. El alférez se dice que ha quedado en el top 20 de una prueba tipo Kobayashi Maru en la academia, pues bueno, pues, tiene que ser difícil.
Really? That's quite impressive.
Thank you. It was tough, but you know, Set my mind to it and it paid off.
Siguiente, nos toca. Y ahora fijaros en la pantallita que se activa cuando ponemos la mano aquí, ¿eh? Porque es otro detalle que tiene la historia que me parece también muy interesante. Tiene un anillo, ya explicaremos qué es. Mira, 52% Koliak, 48% humano. Somos medio Koliak. Una raza que hasta ahora no había salido en Star Trek.
That would be me.
Sí, quedemos en el top 3.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
The pleasure's mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on the Resolute.
Y a partir de aquí ya volvemos otra vez a coger el mando. Tenemos que encontrar al comandante Urmot. Fijaros en todos los paneles LCARS. Está en la nave, ¿eh? Donde vamos a trabajar. Servir como primer oficial. ¿Vale? Ahora hablaremos de ella.
Good day, Commander.
Buenos días. Más paneles LCARS. Bueno, es una nave clase Centauro, ya la veréis. Es una versión refit, una 2.0 de la Centauro. Porque le ha pasado una cosa. ¿Vale? El reporte de la tormenta. Le ha pasado una cosa a la nave. Con el shift corremos. Aquí también. Todos los niveles de la base.
If I remember my briefing, Commander Ermot is a
encontrar
Bolian,
un boliano.
so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
Pero nos vamos a dar una vuelta por aquí. Venga. Hay por aquí. Uy. Un señor. Tripulante perdido.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just... Well, I'm not sure where my departure dock is. The Resolute's gonna leave without me.
Look here. The Resolute is leaving from this dock.
Ah, you're right. Nerves must be getting to me. Thanks so much, Commander.
A mandar. Venga, sigamos. Uy, mira, aquí hay otro punto de interacción. A ver. Un tótem informativo.
Starbase 128 has 4 docks.
Gracias por la información. Aquí había otro. Comida replicada.
I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board. Excuse me, have you seen a Bolian around here?
Yes, sir. Right back there, near the replicator.
Ah, there he is. Thank you.
Happy to help, Commander.
Pues venga, lo tenemos situado.
Excuse me.
Uy, ¿este se podía hablar? Me ha parecido ver un punto. Ah, es el boliano. A ver si puedo
You hear the
llegar.
Resolute's getting a new first officer?
Someone from the crew got promoted?
A ver qué dicen estos.
Get this.
Vamos a disimular. A ver qué comemos.
Wonder how the crew feel about that.
Makes it a little desperate. Is the crew that bad?
Yeah, not a good look.
Se están quejando de que traen una primera oficial de fuera en vez de ascender a uno de la tripulación habitual. Vamos a hablar con el comandante boliano, el comandante Urmot.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermot, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now.
It was a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. This storm is unlike anything I've seen before. We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from your starship.
A ver.
To our local research
¿Qué
vessel.
has oído exactamente?
What exactly have you heard about me?
First in your class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War. Most recently, Tactical Officer and Chief of Security on the USS Endeavour.
You've done your homework?
Like I said, we're very lucky. The USS Resurgence. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as
Nos dice que es una nave
vessels go,
científica.
she can hold her own.
Es una nave clase Centauro, ya
And
os
she
lo he
doesn't
dicho.
look so bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half,
Hace
venting
casi
plasma, fighting for her
6
life.
meses la parten por la mitad,
was
tuvieron
an
un problema, un accidente.
The equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle. Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other. That's what it means to be a crew.
To have lost so many lives. That's a high price to pay.
Too high by any estimation. But there's nothing that can be done about it now except get back to work. And make sure it never happens again. Listen. I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time. And I'm sure
La
you're ready
parte
to
de
bring your
ingeniería
best.
de la nave se ve
But I should
diferente a
warn
las,
you that when the
a las
captain
Centauro,
announced you would be the new
precisamente
first
por el
officer,
accidente que está
there were those who
explicando.
felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at
Sí
first,
que no nos quieren en la nave.
until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Trust is earned, and it sounds like I have my work cut out for me. But I plan on winning them over.
I don't doubt that. I just figured it was better to know what you're walking into.
Of course.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region.
El
I'll let the
presión Enter
captain
que
brief you
ha
on
salido
it.
ahora ya os explicaré.
I
qué
know
es.
he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
Los accidentes mencionados. Vale. Bueno, déjame explicar esto. Venga. Cambiamos de capítulo, cambiamos de personaje. Ahora llevamos al suboficial Carter Díaz. ¿Vale? Es este oficial.
Stuck.
Bueno, este suboficial que tiene un rango parecido
Okay, just
al
the thing.
de Ryan en Espacio Profundo 9. Venga, encuentra el soplete de plasma. Aquí está, venga. Lo encendemos. Y a ver si soy capaz de explicaros lo que pasa aquí. Porque cuando tú le das a un punto para esto, fijaos que si yo suelto el ratón, ¿veis? Se va solo. Entonces, el propio sistema me obliga a tener que andar moviendo el ratón para dejar el cursor, intentar dejar el cursor aquí dentro. Los que lo juguéis en consolas, por favor, decirme si el temblor de los mandos está funcionando en este tipo de situaciones o no, ¿vale? Porque tengo ganas de saberlo. Giramos el ratón sobre su eje. Y tiramos. A la rastra. Fijaros que en todo momento vamos acompañando, ¿eh? Pues venga, empujamos. Parece como si empujáramos nosotros. La D, botón activado.
Is that?
Venga, listo. Los alistados, lo que os digo, el nombre de este segundo capítulo.
I thought that thing was totally fried.
Buen detalle, ¿eh? Mira, esta lanzadera es la 7. El primer número es el número de registro de la Resolute barra 7. Galileo 7.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering.
Se esperan en ingeniería ya. Pues venga, vámonos para allá. Mirar el hangar de lanzaderas, qué bonito, ¿eh? Vale, aquí nos dice que podemos utilizar el shift para correr. Y me da rabia de que nos esperan ingeniería, pero yo quiero remenar todo esto. Pero bueno, venga, vamos. Y mientras caminamos, os cuento de que... Lo que os decía, ¿vale? De que el accidente del que estaba hablando el jefe de operaciones, que ocurrió hace 6 meses y obligó a reparar la nave, a tenerla en dique seco durante este tiempo y a que la parte de ingeniería, el deflector, sean diferentes, es algo que se nos cuenta en un cómic. Son 6, creo que son unas 5 o 6 grapas que se están publicando en Estados Unidos a través de IDW. Ojalá algún día las podamos traer aquí a España en español. Y en ese cómic se habla precisamente de estos incidentes. Me encanta todo este transmedia, todo este enriquecer la historia.
I heard the new EXO just arrived. Won't be long
No lo he dicho, el videojuego se pone a la venta el 23, ya está disponible en digital. Los desarrolladores ya han dicho que no van a sacar edición física. No sé qué me ha dicho, pero podemos con lo que sea. No van a sacar edición física, al menos de momento. Ojalá en un tiempo saquen corto. Saquen una edición física, bien con el tomo recopilatorio de los cómics que os comento, bien con una pequeña maqueta de la nave, de la Resolute.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Jefe de ingeniería, Vulcano. Mal vamos.
Diaz, I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Etzelar on repeated occasions.
Apologies for the delay, Commander.
I do not want your apologies. Simply see to it that it does not happen again.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Commander, if this energy storm is causing problems here at Space Dock, what does that say about what we're gonna find when we head out there for real? Shouldn't we let this storm pass?
Long-range sensors show that conditions will indeed be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. Thusly, we are taking all necessary precautions. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes, Commander Chovak. All hands on deck.
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
It all comes down to us, Nelly. We're the ones who will get it ready.
I know what we can do. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, wow. Ese es el de la lanzadera.
A lot of new faces coming on board. It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
They seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Don't talk badly about one of the best ships in all of Starfleet.
We've rebuilt enough of her by now. She better be one of the best.
We'll see about that. But I am glad to be here. He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that
Me da
bottle
que
and we can
Carter
give you a
Díaz
proper
va a
welcome.
tener el dilema de con
As
qué
soon as we wrap
compañera
up this quick little
voy a
space
ser algo
walk.
más que amigos. Me da. Estas miraditas, estas confianzas.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go. See you on the other side.
Activating magnetic souls.
Bueno, fijaros que tanto el momento este de las botas de gravedad recuerda a First Contact, los uniformes son de la época de First Contact, y es que el videojuego está ubicado en el 2380, justos, ¿vale? Después de los hechos vistos precisamente en la nueva generación. Para adelante. ¡Wow! El cambio de perspectiva ha sido chulísimo.
That view never gets old.
Let's go.
Si os fijáis en las naves del muelle, hemos visto de todo, ¿eh? Una Steel Runner, hemos visto una Nova, una Relian. Todas las manos, tercer capítulo.
Captain Solano should
Y
be
cambiamos
here
de personaje.
momentarily.
No sé si es algo que se va a estilizar en todo, si se va a llevar en todo, pero al menos hasta ahora es así.
You'll have to forgive me.
Detalle
I don't know
interesante,
much
¿eh?
about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
El anillo nos sirve para controlar los niveles de
Feel
uranio
free
que
to
han
make
dicho,
yourself at home.
porque si nos bajan,
And help yourself to whatever you like from the
nos
replicator.
sentimos mal, nos mareamos. Vamos a chafardear un poco. No nos vamos a tomar nada en el replicador, sería un poco de mala educación. Mira, ahí está la Miranda, examinar.
We'll be out there soon. Going where no one has gone before.
Jara right.
No me ha dado tiempo a chafardear, nah.
Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy.
Lo dicho, el capitán y la comandante se conocen. Tienen una buena relación.
And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. My only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare.
You can spare me the pomp and circumstance. There's plenty of work to be done without all that.
You always had a work ethic like nothing I'd ever seen. That's just what this ship needs at the moment. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
Vamos a decir que no conocemos todos los detalles. Nos
You'll
ha
have to
contado
forgive me. I don't really know the details.
Starfleet has been kind enough to keep the story contained. Probably because they want to protect me. But I don't mind telling you. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there. Within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship could handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible. And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO, and I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Capitán nos ha pedido que una vez él tome una decisión, se puede discutir todo lo que se quiera, pero una vez él tome una decisión, se hace lo que él diga. Obviamente, esto ya nos da pie a que va a pasar algo que nos va a enfrentar al capitán porque no estemos de acuerdo con sus órdenes.
We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. Two previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hatari.
Exactly.
Una anomalía súper extraña que parte de Hotari. ¿Dónde vamos?
But the diplomat will brief us on the details of the rendezvous.
¿Será artificial?
But are we prepared to embark on the mission?
As much as I'd like to think that's true, I have my doubts. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
Thank you. But I feel like I still have so much to learn.
You'll have plenty of opportunity. And if you're willing to put in the work, I'll do everything in my power to help you along the way. Come, let me introduce you to the crew.
Pues venga, ¿le seguimos o nos quedamos chafardeando? No, vamos a seguirle, ¿va? ¿Dónde estaba ahí? Que entramos al puente. Perdón. A ver, es distinto de lo que hemos visto, pero se siente natural. Conocido.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Iba llorando, ¿eh?
What he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our Chief Science Officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad, because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves, and you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
I don't know what to say. That's incredibly flattering, thank you.
I hope someday I can follow in your footsteps.
I'm sure you will.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. I have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
El puente es nuestro. Siéntate en la silla del capitán cuando estés listo. Pues no, nos vamos a dar aquí un garbeo. A ver qué hay por aquí.
Communications. Keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels.
Master System Display.
So many decks. Full of crew that are now my responsibility.
Me parece que nos está explicando un poco, ¿no? Nos está describiendo
Hopefully,
todas
a diplomatic mission won't
estaciones.
require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that, we'll be ready.
Pues... Aquí no hay nada. Aquí sí. Timón.
The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers. Can't wait to see what she can do.
Operaciones.
Operations. Staffing, supplies. There's a lot to keep track of on a starship. Good thing we have Commander Ermont.
Nos queda ciencias.
Science station. The Resolute is a science vessel, primarily. Might explain Commander Westbrook's
Sí,
attitude.
porque está muy serio, ¿eh?
I'll have to speak with him later.
Vale. Nos quedan... Mira, la silla del primer oficial.
The first officer's seat. My seat. Right now, though, I need to fill in for Captain Solano.
Si nos sentamos en la silla, nos sentamos. Y mira, pero falta esto. Holograma táctico.
Tactical hollow dais. Just like they've got on the
Mira, como
Excelsior.
el que tiene en el Excelsior. Que no es una mesa, es un holograma táctico. Cuidado. ¿Esto cómo se baja? No, tanto.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural
No me
integrity
acabo de
field.
sentar que ya me están dando
He's sent a
trabajo.
crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Autorización para bajar el campo de integración. ¿Qué ha dicho?
Permission granted.
Integridad
Lowering
de estructuras.
structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. condition blue.
Marejada ciclónica.
Looks like they turned off the
Episodio nuevo, cambio de personaje.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
Avanzamos. Puedo cambiar el ratón. Las vistas.
Every time we're out here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
Por las gotas
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine.
Yeah, of course I do. Starfleet's an open door. We just have to walk through it. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere, see new worlds, look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be. Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Beginning recalibration.
Vale, ¿qué hay que hacer? Entiendo que hay que llevar la redonda de la exclamación al medio. Niquelado.
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive.
Que si está cabreado, algo le pasa.
Yes, I am the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
This is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then? You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario.
Gracias por preocuparte.
But not outside the realm of possibility.
That's very kind of you to be concerned about my well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all. Listen. Can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew.
Ya, pero no pretendo llenar su
and
zapato.
he was one of my closest friends.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Este está picado porque es el oficial de más tiempo en la nave y a lo mejor quería ser el
Seeing as
primer
Captain
oficial.
Solano is on the
Chico,
starbase,
mira, gris.
let me give you an
No le
update
hemos
on this
gustado.
ion
No,
storm
no es
we're
rojo.
flying into.
Vale, nos hemos quedado ahí neutral, ni fu ni fa.
Unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a
Una luz
scientific
intermitente
countermeasure.
roja nunca es bueno.
Just a moment.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound.
On screen.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wideband burst of ionic energy, like a tsunami.
Recuerdo que es la copia de prensa,
I'm
Yo
reading
entiendo
power
que
abnormalities all over the ship.
Red alert.
Aye.
en la versión final estará solventado estas cosas.
Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
Bueno,
we only get one
así
shot at
creemos.
this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's right, which is why we
Como
need
diría
to
Riker,
send power to our
escudos arriba.
shields.
Bedrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood.
Queríamos hacer
On my command.
del oficial científico, vamos bien.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
Blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Esto tampoco está subtitulado. Venga.
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Uno para equipar phaser.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
Vale, usamos el phaser para despejar un camino. Vale, hay que evitar las que se formen bolas. No. Pues avanzamos. Cuando te acerques, Vale, este es otro modo de juego, ¿eh? El juego tiene el modo de exploración que hemos... ¡Parta! El modo de exploración que hemos visto hasta ahora tiene varios modos de juego. Este es el modo quizás más táctico, el modo phaser. Podremos pilotar lanzaderas, utilizar los tricordes.
Are you alright?
Yeah. Suit took most of it.
Snuck up on it. That damaged your suit. Energy dampening is down to 60%. We're almost to the regulator.
¿Qué? ¿Llegamos ya o no?
We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
Todas estas compuertas tienes que dejar el botón apretado, acompañar el ratón. Me gusta. Parece que realmente lo estoy moviendo.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Entiendo que hay que alinear las tres montañitas. Mira, tenemos la amarilla, azul y la blanca.
The EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chobot can...
¿Qué pasa? Me gustaría que hubiera un botón. No, volver atrás y repetir la última.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working?
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest way to...
people on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order.
Ya está, el momento presión. No es tan simple.
Chara?
Bueno, confía en mí.
Captain, you brought me here because you trusted me. Can you trust me now?
You better be sure you make the right decision.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
¿Qué hacemos?
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
Través, stand by. We're gonna flip
Mira, el
hull
capitán ya se ha
polarity to
puesto en
disengage
rojo.
the clamps.
Bueno,
Yes, Commander.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Perfect.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
esto tampoco está subtitulado, pero insisto, será error de la copia de prensa. Uy, qué va a durar esto.
Hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edselar there to access the interior.
Roger that. Go in there now. I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this.
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
Bueno, he tenido que poner eso ahí por algún motivo que no hemos leído. ¡Estrés! Nos alcanzó plano. Hola. Hola.
We made it.
They're safe, bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
El precio del deber. Nos va a caer una bronca del capitán. Ya verás.
Millie.
I'm good. Help me with him.
Let's get this off. Medical. Got one wounded at my location. Carter. You don't look so good. You gotta be more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet. Now let's get you down to sickbay.
Great. Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute.
Ahí nos ha dado un capote.
We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
Bronca.
You disobeyed my orders. Well?
I'm sorry for that, Captain. I did what I thought was...
You disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
¿Cómo no?
I'm sure he doesn't take it
ingeniero Vulcano
personally.
se ha quejado.
He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to you did what you had to.
Bueno, sí, le hemos decepcionado en parte.
You placed a lot of trust in me, bringing me here. I feel like I've let you down.
I brought you here for a reason. I'm still sure it was the right one. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and then we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir. All departments reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know
Partimos.
I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar. do it? Set a course for the Otari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
You know what? You take this one.
Me?
¿Qué decimos? Típico.
Engage.
Simple, but effective.
Simple, pero efectivo. Y aquí lo vamos a dejar, ¿vale? Rumbo al sistema Otari para, si no he entendido mal, recoger a un embajador y mediar entre dos razas que están al borde de la guerra. A esta sección accedemos con el Enter en la versión PC y es un poco lo que os comentaba. Todos los cuadritos verdes, grises o rojos son un poco resumen de si nos estamos llevando bien, neutral o regular con todas las personas, con todos los personajes que interactuamos. Y tenemos dos pestañas, ¿vale? Uno para las relaciones de la comandante Yara, que, bueno, que aquí nos hace un poco de resumen, ¿vale? Pues mira, con el capitán tenía recelo porque desafiamos sus órdenes, pero se ha mantenido dispuesto a confiar en la nueva oficial, ¿no? La teniente Menrotsian, pues lo mismo, ¿no? Admira el instinto de Yara de proteger la tripulación, admira el esfuerzo de la complejidad de la situación con el capitán y aliviada cuando Yara desafió las órdenes y tomó su propia decisión de mando al instante. El comandante Westbrook, algo parecido, ¿eh? También se sintió agradecido cuando Yara desafió las órdenes del capitán. Yo creo que el capitán está un poco mal visto por el resto de la tripulación, ¿vale? El comandante Urmot admira el acercamiento racional también del capitán. Teniente comandante Shoba, jefe de ingeniería, no está de acuerdo con que Yara no siguiera el protocolo. ¿Vale? El alférez Calloway, agradecido por la ayuda, la guía que tuvimos con él en el momento lanzadera. Y bueno, aquí me imagino que irán saliendo más personajes. Y con Carter, pues las relaciones que hemos tenido todavía. Bueno, las que hemos tenido con él. Pues Ed Silar, ¿vale? Agradecido cuando antepusimos su seguridad a la suya propia. Miranda, ¿veis? Mira, ya cierta química con Carter, ¿eh? Y el teniente Chobak, ¿vale? Pues mira, nos cree que Carter es respetuoso y responsable cuando casi llegamos tarde a la cubierta principal. Gestión de controles, tanto de mando como teclado. Diferentes modos de juego, ya lo hemos dicho, ¿eh? Exploración, disparo, es el que hemos probado hasta ahora. Pero mira, tenemos sigilo. Hay que esconderse. No puedo pasar esto, no. Habrá que esconderse. El tricorder con las teclas, a ver. No. ¿Cómo pasó esto? Bueno. Usaremos tricorder. Phaser ya lo hemos visto también. Transporta la lanzadera. Ya está el transportador también. Y ajustes, pues un poco lo que... Bueno, subir y bajar los volúmenes. Es posible que el juego se me bloquee ahora, ¿vale? Insisto, es la de esta de prensa. Pero si yo me voy al menú principal, casi seguro que se clava. Efectivamente, se ha clavado, ¿vale? No puedo ir al menú principal. Pero, bueno, esto espero que siga grabando. Ya lo habéis visto, ¿vale? Los primeros 40, 50 minutos, hora, no sé cuánto llevamos, ¿vale? La primera hora de juego. Los gráficos a mí me parecen más que adecuados. Los subtítulos en español los agradezco muchísimo porque si no la experiencia con este juego, para los que no sabemos inglés, es mínima. No sería lo mismo. Agradezco que haya varios modos de juego, se sienten todos muy bien y sobre todo me gusta con Carter el momento dificultad del ratón cuando tenemos que poner el cursor en una redonda y esa redonda nos expulsa el cursor y tenemos que andar moviendo el ratón forzando a no salir de eso. Yo creo que es algo que queda muy bien, que le da un toque de realismo muy bien y ya está. Decirme en los comentarios, bueno, lo de siempre, ¿vale? Suscribiros, me gusta, campanita, comentarios. Me gustaría saber si os vais a hacer, si ya tenéis el juego comprado, si en ese caso, ¿qué os está pareciendo? Si lo vais a comprar después de ver este gameplay, cómo se siente con mando, ¿vale? Lo que decíamos de la vibración, si se activa o no se activa en estos momentos, si la dificultad también de mover y centrar las cosas están. Todo lo que queráis contarme, qué otros videojuegos de Star Trek habéis jugado, qué videojuego os gustaría que se hiciera. Pues me gustaría que se hiciera un videojuego de este tipo o parecido al otro, también me gustaría saberlo. Y ya está, lo dejamos aquí, volveremos a la Resolute para saber a dónde nos lleva esta primera misión. Y ya está, disfrutar del juego, nos vemos.